Bro, thank you for choosing this video. Welcome back to this channel, a haven for Chelsea news updates. So find a comfortable seat and grab a drink, because this time I'm presenting 10 stories about Chelsea off the pitch that you probably didn't know. I hope to reach 300 likes. By liking this video, I'm even more motivated to provide as much news as possible and as interesting as possible for you. And finally, please comment where you're from. I'd love to know which countries are watching this video.
Chelsea's 4-game winning streak was officially ended after a 2-1 defeat to Sunderland at Stamford Bridge. The Blues were dominant and took an early lead through Alejandro Garnacho's debut goal in the 4th minute, a brilliant combination with Pedro Neto. However, that lead was wiped out when Wilson Isidore capitalized on a chaotic encounter to equalize. In the second half, Maresca's men continued to press through Enzo and Caicedo, but Sunderland's solid defense proved impregnable. Just as the match appeared to be drawing, disaster struck in the 93rd minute through Chamsdean Talby, sealing a bitter defeat at home. Chelsea dropped to 7th in the standings. Was this a wake-up call for Maresca that his team was still struggling to break down teams with a low block?
Alejandro Garnacho finally arrived at Chelsea in the most perfect way. After 6 games without a goal or assist since arriving from Manchester United, the Argentine scored his first goal against Sunderland and immediately caught the attention of the Stamford Bridge crowd. His goal was a confident move, as Garnacho deceived the defender with a step-over and then unleashed a powerful shot between the legs of goalkeeper Robin Royce. According to Sky Sports reporter Peter Smith, Garnacho has finally arrived at Chelsea. It was a ferocious, confident shot. His celebration was also iconic, sitting on an advertising board facing the Sunderland fans as if to retaliate against all critics. It's no wonder a Chelsea fan account wrote, "Delete your Garnacho hate tweets. We don't do 007 over here." In that match, Garnacho received a 7.7 SofaScore rating, the second highest in the team after Enzo Fernandez, despite being substituted in the 58th minute. Ironically, Chelsea lost 1-2 afterward, but Garnacho's performance proved one thing: his mentality is ready for the Premier League. Is this the beginning of the Wonder Kids revival under Maresca?
Enzo Maresca revealed that 3 Chelsea stars, João Pedro, Enzo Fernandez, and Moises Caicedo, did not participate in daily training after returning from injury. All 3 played in Chelsea's 2-1 loss to Sunderland at Stamford Bridge, with Chamsdean Talby scoring the decisive goal in the 93rd minute. Maresca said João Pedro was managing a groin injury that had limited him, while Fernandez and Caicedo were also struggling. They tried to give their best, but today, overall, everyone struggled, so it wasn't just about João, Maresca said. The Italian coach added that Chelsea were not good enough throughout the match. A lack of creativity in attack meant chances were limited, although Garnacho had given the team an early lead. Second-half challenges lost and second-half ball failures left the team open to conceding. This defeat underscores Chelsea's challenges with a young squad and mounting injuries. Maresca emphasized the need for 100% performance from his players in every match, and that the team must perform better to compete at the top. Can Chelsea bounce back quickly, or will injury problems continue to hamper Maresca's young team?
Chelsea suffered a shock 2-1 defeat to newly promoted Sunderland at Stamford Bridge. The Blues took an early lead through Alejandro Garnacho in the 4th minute, but Wilson Isidore equalized before halftime. Disaster struck late in the match when Chamsdean Talby scored the decisive goal in the 93rd minute. This defeat ended Chelsea's 4-game winning streak and dropped them to 7th in the standings. Was this just a stumble or a warning sign for Enzo Maresca's squad? Clear readings after the shock loss to Sunderland. Goalkeeper Robert Sanchez still looked nervous on the ball, but his catches were secure. Sunderland's 2 goals weren't entirely his fault. Right back Reece James, 7.4. Very active in attack. His passes were dangerous, although not all of them were accurate. He remained the driving force from the right flank. Center back Jovoho Chalobah, 6.7. Had some difficulty dealing with Broby's pace. Several duels failed, and one blunder cost Chelsea a goal. Center back Josh Acheampong, 7. Young but brave, some clean tackles and decent positioning, but unfortunately the offside trap failed. Left back Mark Cucurella, 6.7, often overlapped and helped attack, but his finishing and crossing were still lacking. Defensive midfielder Moises Caicedo, 6.6, anchored the midfield but lost momentum a few times during transitions. Midfielder Enzo Fernandez, 7.4, starting to show some rhythm again. Creative up front, but lacking sharpness in his finishing. Attacking midfielder Joao Pedro, 6.2. Right winger Pedro Neto, 7.4. Great energy, provided an assist for Garnacho, but missed a few chances. Left winger Alejandro Garnacho, 7.2. Finally scored his debut goal at Stamford Bridge, but over time his performance declined and he was quickly replaced. Striker Mark Gue, 5.9, almost invisible on the pitch. Minimal touches, rarely received the ball, and ineffective in front of goal. Many players performed subparly, only James, Garnacho, Enzo, and Neto really stood out. But with these results, these still believe Chelsea can be consistent under Maresca.
Enzo Maresca came under intense scrutiny after his controversial decision led to Chelsea's defeat to Sunderland at Stamford Bridge. The Blues had taken an early lead through Alejandro Garnacho's early goal, but their performance quickly declined. Although Chelsea dominated possession, they struggled to create any serious chances without Cole Palmer's creativity. Meanwhile, the defense looked fragile throughout. A crucial moment came when Maresca substituted Josh Akapongo, a solid young defender, and replaced him with Tosin Adarabioyo. The decision proved costly. In stoppage time, Tosin failed to contain a counterattack, allowing the Sunderland striker to hold the ball unopposed, allowing the assist for the decisive goal. Fans were furious on social media, calling the decision foolish and calling Tosin a 1v1 cone. Criticism poured in, accusing Maresca of losing his way and failing to learn from his previous mistakes. Was this the first sign of Chelsea's momentum under Maresca?
Paul Merson highlighted Chelsea's main problems after their shock 2-1 defeat to Sunderland at Stamford Bridge. According to Merson, the very young team's performance was too inconsistent, as evidenced by the Blues taking an early lead through Alejandro Garnacho but failing to maintain their lead. He emphasized that Chelsea's defense was often fragile, while their attacking creativity often stagnated without the likes of Cole Palmer. Controversial substitutions, including the substitution of Josh Acheampong for Tosin Adarabioyo, were also cited as contributing factors. Merson emphasized that the team must be more disciplined and aggressive and learn from simple mistakes that had cost them. "Quote-unquote, gotta be better than that," he asserted. Will Chelsea quickly correct their inconsistency, or is this a difficult start to the season for Maresca and his young squad? Chelsea failed to secure points again as Sunderland scored a late goal to win 2-1 at Stamford Bridge. Enzo Maresca expressed frustration with his team's performance. In a press conference, he emphasized that Chelsea were not good enough in all aspects. The problem stemmed from a lack of creativity in attack and a fragile defense, especially in transition situations. Maresca highlighted Sunderland's second goal. The two center backs should have anticipated a 2v1 situation, but failed to tackle or clear the ball. The Italian coach also emphasized the importance of individual performance, saying that missing duels and second balls makes the team vulnerable to conceding goals. This defeat puts Chelsea at risk of dropping to 10th place in the standings if results go against them this weekend. Before the derby against Tottenham, Chelsea will travel to Wolverhampton Wanderers in the EFL Cup, where Maresca is likely to field the bench. Can Chelsea bounce back, or will consistency issues continue to plague Maresca's young team?
Chelsea failed to close the gap at the top of the Premier League after Sunderland scored in the 93rd minute. Alejandro Garnacho gave the Blues an early lead after converting a Pedro Neto pass, finishing from a tight angle. However, Chelsea's dominance was short-lived. Wilson Isidore capitalized on Nordi Mukiel's long throw to equalize in the 22nd minute. Mark Gue made his Premier League debut for Chelsea but was ineffective.
Despite energetic pressure on goalkeeper Robin Roufs from the start, Gui only touched the ball 10 times, 2 of which were inside the Sunderland penalty area. The 19-year-old struggled to connect with his attackers, despite scoring in the Champions League midweek. Chelsea again failed to deal with long throws. Josh Achimpong managed to clear the ball, but a ricochet gave Isidore the chance to shoot from close range. Maresca's decision to take Achimpong off and bring on Tosin didn't help matters. Chelsea's young side were humiliated in the dying seconds. Maresca emphasized the importance of developing young players, but today's performance showed the team's lack of consistency. Gui and his young teammates have shown talent, but experience and coordination are still limited. With this result, the Premier League title race remains far from reach. Is Chelsea's young squad ready to face the full pressure this season, or do they need more time to develop?
Chelsea left Stamford Bridge pointless after Sunderland scored a late goal to win 2-1. Alejandro Garnacho had given them an early lead, but Chelsea's dominance was short-lived. No player truly impressed today, but the spotlight fell on Enzo Maresca's match management. Maresca, often praised for his match management, appeared slow in his decision-making. His substitutions were both slow and inaccurate. Garnacho was substituted, but Neto was kept in the game despite both players struggling to create chances. Tyreek George played in midfield, even though João Pedro had the better chance of scoring from the strikers. The most fatal error was substituting Josh Achimpong, Chelsea's best defender at the moment, for Tosin Adarabioyo, who is notoriously weak in transition defense. This decision allowed Sunderland to score a late winner. Maresca appeared relaxed in the press conference, but in his match management, panic and misguided decisions continued to emerge. This season has been 1 step forward, 2 steps back for Chelsea, and Maresca has been at the heart of the problem. Chelsea will face Wolves in the Carabao Cup and must quickly bounce back before the Premier League derby against Spurs next weekend. Can Maresca learn from this mistake, or will Chelsea's young side continue to fall victim to their manager's decisions?